Hello, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a green smoky eye. What you can see right now is I'm using MAC Cosmetics primer, and I'm just sort of prepping my face, and this is supposed to create a mattifying effect because I have oily skin. And then I am going in with the MAC Prep and Prime spray. I love the feel of this spray a lot. Initially, I was going to use my Wet n Wild brow pencil to do my brows, and then I just kind of changed my mind and I decided to use Anastasia Beverly Hills brow pomade. So I'm going to be using that with my e.l.f. angle brush. So I'm starting now, following the line of my eyebrows on the bottom and doing the same thing on the top part, just trying to be careful and just sort of shape my eyebrows in the way that I like. In the front part, try to do strokes up, and then I'm trying to match that with the brow on the other side. Sometimes it gets very difficult being able to match your brows to look exactly the same, and that is absolutely okay. They are sisters, not twins. I try not to go in with the brow pomade too much, and then I just use the other side of my angle brush to just blend everything in. I do love dark brows, but today I just was going for something not super dark. So I'm using a concealer right now, and I am cleaning off the edges and just sort of making everything look nice and tight and shaping my entire brow as well. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the top of my brows. So it's very important to bring that concealer down and just not leave it up in the brow. And then doing the same thing for the other eye on the top, just trying to clean up everything and make the brows look really nice and defined. And here we go. I think I went in with the concealer in that portion, or it just wasn't dark enough. So I'm just correcting a couple things here with the brows. Then I'm going in with the concealer on my entire eyelid, and this is so important because it's going to bring out the colors for my eyeshadow when I start applying the eyeshadow. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. And then what I'm going to do also is use that same concealer on the bottom of my eyes. And I do this because like now you see what I'm doing right here, because sometimes the bottom of my eyes there I have like darker, so I try to correct that this way. And then I'm just using the blending brush to blend everything out, making sure that there are no harsh lines or anything like that. I'm using this bigger brush, love this brush, to really go in and blend everything. And you want to blend the top just so that when you use your foundation, everything blends, and then just creating that space in the middle there. Now I'm going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel just to set my brows. It's really makes all the difference using the brow gel. So that's what we're doing here. And then I'm going to go with my translucent powder from Mercier, the best in the market, hands down. And this is in the shade medium. And so I'm gonna, I think it's in the shade deep dark or something. But there are 2 shades only, so you'll be able to figure that out. So for my eyeshadow, I'm going in with a light green. I'm using the Boss Mode Morphe palette, and the eyeshadows don't have names that I saw. I don't think so. But I'm using light green, and then I'm gonna keep going in with a darker green. So now I think this is still light green, or this might be a darker green. So I'm going in with a darker green, and after this I'm going to go with another darker shade of green as well. So I'm using this bigger brush to just blend everything in before I keep going with my eyeshadow. And then yes, I'm using a much darker green now again, and then doing the same thing for the other eyes. And this is kind of how I apply my eyeshadow. I start with the lighter color, and then I keep going darker and darker. And I'm using this big brush in the middle to blend out. So I decided to go with a smoky eye. So now I'm using a smoky the black eyeshadow from that same Morphe palette on the outskirts of my eye to create a smoky effect. So now I'm going to start cut and crease here with that same MAC Cosmetics concealer, and just taking my time and doing that. Cut and crease is not an easy skill. You got to practice, 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 and then learn. And I don't know. You just got to keep doing it, and then at some point you get the hang of it. I'm sort of cutting this crease a little lower than where I should have, because this is kind of where I wanted to cut the crease. So I'm using a shiny green shade here on the inside of my eye, and so this is basically what we're doing. And then I'm going to go back with this eyeshadow because I wanted more smokiness, and so I went back in with a dark eyeshadow. So now I'm using Benefits Cosmetics eyeliner, super bomb, and I am just drawing out my lines. I'm not doing anything crazy here. And then I'm doing the same thing for the other eye, just drawing out and lining the top of my eyes there. And then it was just supposed to be basic and just that, and then I decided, why not try to do this little fishy eye look that I normally see, and I really like it when I see it on people, so I want to kind of take advantage and try to do it for myself. And as you can see, it did not come out as perfect as I wanted to, and so this is the first time I'm trying this. So I going with a concealer, because in makeup nothing is set in stone. We can always correct and we can always fix things. So I'm trying to like fix this liner there, and so as you see, I'm sort of going back in with the liner, and then it's not coming out the way I want, and so I'm going back in again with the concealer to fix this. I think I'm satisfied with it now. Put on my lashes, and I'm using the Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I'm using the brush as an applicator to just apply that foundation on my face, and then I am going to go in also with Maybelline Fit Me 360. This is the first time I have ever mixed foundations. I do not know why I decided to do this, but I did, and we're just going to continue with this process. We will never mix again, but hey, just for the fun of it. So I use the MAC Prep and Prime to spray my face, and then I'm using a brush to pretty much blend in the foundation to my face. When you use a brush with your foundation, you save a lot of product. When you use a sponge, you have to use more, so you save less with the sponge. But the sponge is great because it takes off excess and makes sure your face is even out. And as you can see, I had too much foundation on my face, so I had to go back in with that sponge because I felt like there was too much foundation on my face, so I had to take some of that off with the sponge, which is why you see me here using a sponge. So now I'm going in with MAC Cosmetics concealer again on the bottom of my eye there, and then I am doing the same thing on top and the bottom of my chin, my forehead, as well as the bridge of my nose. So I'm going in with a different sponge because I really am not fond of that green sponge and the shape of it. So I'm going in here with blending with this sponge, and I'm just blending because blending is so important. So blending everywhere, and I applied the concealer to making sure everything looks nice. So I'm going back with that concealer on the bridge of my nose, which I initially forgot to do. And so this is kind of what it looks like. So I'm going with Black Opal foundation stick for my contour here. I'm using this brush I got from Juicy Couture. I got it from TJ Maxx. Is where I got this brush from. So I'm using this to blend. I love this brush a lot. So, and I'm blending the forehead now, making sure everything looks perfect and seamless. So we're just gonna go ahead. Now I'm using my translucent powder from Laura Mercier. I'm using this green sponge to apply. I am not fond of this green sponge, and I think this shape is what I just really don't like. So I'm trying my best to put in my setting powder on my face and set my face. Yeah, I don't know about this sponge, but it doesn't really put in as much of the product initially as I want. So I have to kind of go back and refill things here. All right, so now what I'm doing is really taking off the one on the bottom of in my chin area and my forehead, because those ones I really don't like them staying for too long, or else I have to put in extra work blending it out. So all the eyeshadows I use on the top of my eyes, I am using for the bottom of my eyes now, and it just creates a really nice look when those two are in sync. So now I'm using the translucent powder to set that little portion of my eye there, because if I don't do that, then the eyeshadow underneath my eyes will start bleeding and going all over my face. So it's really important to do that. So now I am just sort of blending and blending and blending here, blending the nose, and now I'm dusting off the translucent powder on my face. As you can see, comes out really nice and easy, and because this is Laura Mercier and she has the best. So now I'm using the powder Black Radiance in shade Ebony to contour with powder. I love contouring with powder. Sometimes I skip contouring with the stick foundation and just contour with powder. So this is what I'm doing right here. And then I'm going in with a blush, and I'm using MAC Cosmetic e.l.f. brush. I found that wasn't giving me the effect I want, so I had to use a different brush. And now I'm going in with Maybelline's Cosmetics highlighter in shade 200, the Studio Fix highlighter. It's really great, highlighting my chin, my nose, highlighting my forehead, the bottom of my chin as well. And then what I'm gonna do is go in with this big brush and blend everything, because we don't want this highlighters looking harsh. We want everything to look nice and seamless as well. So I'm going back with this blush because I felt like the highlighter kind of diminished my blush, and I love blush, so I'm going in again with the blush. So now for my lips, I'm using the Wet n Wild lip liner, and then I'm using this liquid matte lipstick that I got from Maybelline, and I really love the color on the bottle. I thought it was really unique. When I put it on my lips with this particular look, it just really wasn't working out. I mean, from the moment I put it on my lips, I really did not like it. So I tried to use some eyeliner again to fix things, but then I ended up just using one of my favorite lip liners from Physicians Formula. So first of all, I'm using setting spray, the Prep and Prime from MAC, Urban Decay's All Nighter, and then a matte setting spray from NYX Cosmetics. All three of them went in, and then this is the finished look. As you can see here, I changed that lip color because I just really was not feeling it at all, 0%. So I just put on top one of my favorite lip colors, and I don't know, I really don't know what I was trying to do here, because something about this lips is not working with me. I do not like it. Let me just be honest. But now I think it's fine since I added the other lip color to it. So this is the finished look, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.
Everybody, everywhere, mighty, mighty Tyre, my provider.